The most misunderstood way to lose weight. One of the most controversial topics in weight loss is fasting. When you fast, you're essentially mimicking a state of starvation, and that activates a wide range of genes inside your body. These genes don't just help you burn fat and lose weight. They're also linked to longevity, better heart health, and improved blood sugar control. This brings up an interesting question. In ancient times, when humans faced famine and survived through genetic adaptation, didn't those periods also include drought? If that's true, wouldn't we also have genes that help protect us from dehydration? The answer is yes. Research shows there are more than 50 different genes that activate during periods of limited water availability. These genes are associated with powerful health benefits, including a reduced risk of cancer and other chronic diseases. Now, I know what you're thinking. Dehydration is dangerous. We're constantly told that by the time you feel thirsty, you're already dehydrated. You've probably heard that statement many times, but I came across a fascinating study that completely changed how I looked at this topic. The study involved small birds that are capable of flying long distances across deserts without drinking any water. Researchers divided them into 3 groups. One group was given both food and water. The second group received water but no food. The third group received neither food nor water. This is known as dry fasting. The results were shocking. The birds in the dry fasting group produced 6 times more water than the group that was drinking water. Not only that, the dry fasting group burned significantly more fat. When fat is broken down in the presence of oxygen, the chemical process actually creates water inside the body. This suggests that dry fasting may be used strategically. Research on short-term dry fasting around 12 hours per day for several weeks shows many health benefits with very few reported side effects. When I talk about dry fasting, I'm only referring to short durations, such as 12 hours, or at most 20 hours for beginners. I'm not talking about extreme or prolonged dry fasts. Before going deeper, it's important to understand where the fear around dehydration originated. The heavy emphasis on constant water consumption largely came from large-scale campaigns promoting bottled water. These campaigns trained people to believe that dehydration is the greatest danger and that we must constantly drink water to survive. Ironically, the same major corporations that dominate the bottled water industry are also the ones selling ultra-processed foods, sugary drinks, and energy beverages. They profit on both sides, junk food on one end and bottled water on the other. This doesn't mean water is bad. Not at all. Drink water when you're thirsty. But dry fasting can be another optional tool, used carefully and intentionally when appropriate. If someone wants to explore fasting, there are some important principles to follow. First, you should never rush into it. The body needs time to adapt to burning fat. Following a lower carbohydrate diet for a period helps shift your metabolism toward fat usage. Once your body adapts, transitioning into fasting becomes much easier. Cravings decrease, hunger fades, and the process becomes manageable. Fasting should always begin with water fasting, not dry fasting. During water fasting, people typically use electrolytes, B vitamins, and sea salt. With dry fasting, nothing is consumed, no water, no supplements, no coffee. During this phase, hormonal changes encourage the body to conserve water and sodium more efficiently. Most people have never experienced a state where their body actually produces its own water. That's why dry fasting should only be introduced gradually, in very small and manageable steps. Even at a smaller scale, it can produce powerful results. In fact, 1 day of dry fasting can have effects comparable to 3 days of water fasting. There are also practical considerations. Staying in a cool environment is important. Excessive heat and sweating can increase stress on the body and worsen dehydration. Light movement such as walking is fine, but intense exercise, heavy sweating, or outdoor labor should be avoided. During dry fasting, digestion slows down and the kidneys experience less workload. This allows the body to redirect energy toward healing, repair, and regeneration. Adding unnecessary physical stress during this time defeats the purpose. When fasting for longer durations and transitioning back to eating, refeeding should be done slowly. Liquids are typically introduced first, in small amounts spaced throughout the day. This gradual approach supports digestion and gut health.